and working with SAS. Have you tried that? Have you tried working with SAS? No? Right? Yes, good. So able to install it successfully and practice converting the SAS into CSS. Am I right? Yes. Yes, good. So in SAS, so yesterday we learned about how do we deal with variables, how we can deal with variables. So creating variables and using the variables and nested contents, how you can use the nested contents, configure the nesting contents. Now, another important in SAS, you need to understand about the various types of values and options. Everything is same. That means uh, when you are declaring variables, you need to know about variables are same. SAS variables are same as JavaScript variables, same as JavaScript variables. So usually they are same as the JavaScript variables, and technically uh, the the value types usually. So value types of SAS. Generally, the value type of SAS, how we can deal with the values. So the same as JavaScript types, actually SAS supports numbers, supports strings, it supports colors. Colors means color name, color code, RGB. So RGBA, all these it will support. It will support lists. Lists are like arrays. I will show you. It will support maps. It will support boolean. It will support null. It will support functions also, just like JavaScript. And the numbers means all the numbers, no need to explain. Number means, so like signed integer, unsigned integer, floating point, double, decimal, exponent, same. All are JavaScript. String means single quote, double quote, backtick, like string formats are supported. And here expressions will be little bit different. I will show you. Colors are nothing but color name, color code. You can define them. So lists and maps, we will see how we can define them and configure here. For example, let's see how you can define the variables. So in the SAS file, SCSS file, so we are using suppose size. I can keep it number like this. You can store a number inside it. Suppose we can define some another variable like some size 2. I can define like 10 pixels. That is also a valid one. So that means you can say that, so here it can be a numeric type of value or it can be anything. Suppose I said dollar, so size 3. And here I can define something like 2EM. So these are the units, CSS units. You can define like angle. So angle, suppose you can define some 60 degree. All the CSS units you can use for variables. You can even give like responsive. So that means you can give like some 80%. All CSS units you can use. Suppose you can even write here like opaque, transparency, or transparency, opaque. You can write like 6E3. So like this you can define. So 5.2E3, like this you can define. So that means you know that it is into 10 to the power of 3, right? So all these values are same. All these values are same. You can store any type of value in a variable. So CSS numbers, CSS units, general numbers, you can store string type values, you can store functions, everything. Functions also you can define. Functions like you can write like suppose change. I can put like here rotate, so rotate, and I can define like suppose 60-degree, like this I can write. There can be right rotate like functions, we can define them, we can access and use them. So these are the general options how we can manage. These are numbers, different types of number types. No need to explain, already we know already we know what are the various number types. You already know strings also. That means actually strings means here I will show you. Strings means it supports with quotes, without quotes also. For example, I say suppose font, and I say here I am writing here Arial. This is a string. Or I can also write like style. I can define as bold like this. You can configure. String can be in single quote, it can be in double quote, or it can be in normal without quotes also. You can define the strings. So number types. So this is like all JavaScript numbers, and the string type same as JavaScript string. So it allows without quote also. Without quote is also allowed. So that is string. Color names and all, no need to explain. So hexadecimal, RGB, color names, you can give the color codes. In a variable, you can store anything. In a variable, you can store lists also. Lists. Generally, lists are nothing but they are separated with commas. Lists are separated with commas. That means comma. Just like array. That means you can write here. So list. So in this, you can put some values separated with commas or spaces. Lists can be separated with comma, or it can be separated with space. That means you can say 4 pixel, so 5 pixel, 6 pixel. This is like list. This is a collection, and you can also write like some list one. So you can write like options like Arial, like sans serif, like this. You can put with a comma also, just like arrays. How to use them, I will show you with some examples. We will see that how we can handle them. One simple example we will see. So generally, now how do we access this and how we can use from the list? Suppose, so we are having some fonts. Suppose we are having fonts. Okay. So here we are having fonts. Fonts is a variable. Okay. Now what I want to do is I want to apply this out of these fonts. There may be so many fonts. Suppose like Times New Roman, Times New Roman, right? Or what is the font? Times New Roman family we have to give. Suppose I'm giving the family as suppose script. So some script is a font available. Let's see in control panel where to see the fonts available in our computer. In control panel, fonts, some fonts are there. You can give these fonts and define those fonts. Suppose these are the fonts we are having. So Calibri. Okay, that is the font I want to use. So let's keep that font. These are the fonts, right? Any one font. Yeah, right. We have to define that. Suppose I have a font. Yeah, that is the font I am giving. Now I want to access from one value from that, and we need to use it. I want to access that and use it. That means we have dot container. Okay, inside the container we have heading. For heading we have a font, so font family. So font family. I need to access from the fonts, But important, fonts is a collection, I want to access the value and use that value from that particular collection. So that means we have to use fonts. It is a collection dot nth. We have to use the option like nth, fonts dot nth. So nth of, so the number we have to define. So which number you want, you have to configure. For example, if I just use fonts, that means the list of fonts, it is going to access all the items from the fonts and display them. It is going to access all the items from the font and display. So you can refer to any specific index and you can define and access also. For example, I'm accessing that fonts, right? You can use iterations, conditions also to access all of them. I will show you the process, how it happens. By using functions, we can do that. This is a list. List can be separated with comma or it can be separated with a space, Now see, when I compile this here, how do we compile? Open this location in terminal, right click and open in terminal. Now in this here we have to run. So SAS, we have to define SAS. So SAS and effects.scss and space effects.css. We are using it and it is done. And you see in effects.css here, the font family contains the collection of all the fonts. You can collect all of them just by referring to that. You can collect any specific one. So by using the index references and access them through a function or through iterator also we can do. I will show you. For that we have to learn some functions to handle them and access them from a collection and use them. So you can store a list, you can store a number, you can store a string, you can store a boolean, you can store any kind of value, same like what JavaScript data types you are having, whatever the JavaScript data types you are having. So here in this SAS, you can even have functions. That means you can have functions. So SAS provides predefined functions to control the behavior of the styles. So by using these functions, you can reduce the complexity. It is easy to control the reusability. And the functions are actually defined with the help of @net. So that means @net, we have to use the functions. Generally, these are called as directives. We technically call them as directives. For example, like if, if, the functions, it is a predefined function used for handling conditions. Generally, how we write the conditions, how we define the conditions. Let's see one simple example, means how we can configure the conditions. So same JavaScript like conditions, but syntax little bit change. Let's see one example. For example, suppose I will clean this up and in the home page, we are having just the content here, container. In the container, we have a heading and we have paragraph. And let's keep this to display in a normal way. It display in a normal way. Right, I will save this. Currently, it is presenting the content like this. This is normal. We don't have any effects currently or some basic effects here you see. This is the presentation. This is the normal we are having. Okay. Now we want to apply some effect. Here, the concept is nothing but, for example, what we want is, we want to apply the effects based on condition. Based on the condition, we want to apply the effects. For example, it can be color, it can be font style, it can be border sizes and all. Suppose I will give you a simple concept here. Like what we want is, suppose we have outline, and outline is having outline, and inside also we have some option. Now this is outline. If outline color is taken as red, that means some outline color is red. Now inside color should be a little light red. It should be little light red. The inside color should be little. Suppose if the outside color is green, now inside color should be little light green like this. It should be light green like this. That means based on the outside color, the inside color also should change. And not only that, text colors and everything should adjust accordingly. Now in CSS, generally when we write this, what we do is we have to write, suppose outer color. So outer color, so outer box, right? So outer box, I'm writing like outer box. In outer box, what we do is we will put BG color, background color. So background color, we will put as green. And after that, what we have to do is, so inner box. So it should, we have to set it to some back color. So light green we have to see. I will keep it like this. Then what happens is, later if I want to change the outside color, I need to change inside color also. Not only inside color, based on that, several other things may be depending. All should change. Suppose you see in your mobiles, in your websites, you have themes. When you change a theme, according to that, all should change. Then in CSS, maintaining such dependencies is very difficult. So you have to update everything. You need to change everything. So this you can manage. So by using the conditions. In CSS directly we cannot write conditions, but it allows to handle that in SAS. That means what we do here is, how do we write the conditions? How do we configure the conditions? Let's see. So here we have to simply configure. Suppose I am giving here a simple option as, suppose I will give as BG color. BG color is a variable. So out BG color. So out BG color is a variable. That means outside BG color. In that, I will put some value, some string. That means I will give here as green. So, or I will put as red. Out BG color is red. Outside background color is red. So that is how we have defined. We have configured. Sometimes we can even define the values like borders and all these options. Okay. Outside BG color is red. Okay. Now we have another option. So inside BG color will be changing accordingly. That means here we define inside BG color. So is equal to, here we can use the options like we have, so red only, but light red. That means you know that I can mix up with a light color red and put that here. With RGB, you can mix the colors and define the color. Now, similarly, these conditions we are defining. That means we are keeping a collection here. Similarly for, so green, background green, red, green. So like this, we are using the combination here. Suppose see here. So out BG color, so red, inside color is this. Now what we want to do is, suppose we are defining here a condition. Means based on the condition we want to apply. So depending on the condition, we want to apply the effects. Then generally what we do is, so we are writing for container. For container, I am adding here background color. Background color, it comes from out BG color. That means it will get it to display in red. Instead of, so here out BG color is red. So we are defining that red color is defined. We can write a condition here. That means for heading, we want to apply. For heading, we want to apply. So for heading, we want to apply, because heading is present inside the container. For heading, we want to apply that light color. So then what we do is we write a condition here. If, so how do we write if condition? At the net if, you have to write at the net if. And here we have to write the condition without any braces, you write the condition. That means if you say that if out BG color is equal to, suppose it is red, out BG color is equal to red. That means if the condition is satisfying, out BG color is equal to red, then we will put here the background color. That means we will put the background color for heading. Background color for heading, we will put it here as inside BG color. That means we will put a light red color, or we can change it. So for example, so we can configure this. That means we have to define this. And we can write multiple conditions. That means actually this I can remove and we can simply put here. So simply here we can put here. So here we can put as light red. That means here we can write, so here red, and let's keep this light red. Directly here we can keep it here. Okay. Now we need to write another condition. Multiple simple if I can write. Then again if. How to write if else I will tell you. If out BG color is equal to suppose green. If it is green, then what should happen? Then we need to write the option. So background color for heading will be in the green. So light green we will apply. That means I can select this light green and apply. That is how we need to define. That means based on the background color, is it red? Then heading color will be light red. If it is green, it will be light green. This is a simple if condition. Without else, we can use an else block also. This is simple if. You can configure and define simple if. That means now what is the condition here is, depending on what the value you are configuring, it has to apply the effect. You can see now when I compiled it again, in the CSS you can see that. So container color will be red. Now you see in the output, it will be like this. The container color is red, then heading color will be light red. Okay, we will do one thing. In the SCSS, we will change this color. That means if I will change this color as green. So I change this color as green. Or I will just put it as green. That means I will just define as green. That means if out BG color is green, I will compile this again. Then automatically the heading color should change. That means a combination will be there. Remember, I am just using for heading. Generally in a website design, we will have header, we will have footer, we will have section, we will have advertisements, we will have a navigation bar. All these colors should change at a time. When I change the back one color, if I change one color, it should affect everywhere it should change. Then such kind of things we can apply. This is regularly seen in themes. When you see website themes, you choose one color, then automatically, and I will show you in JavaScript. So dynamically already we learned in JavaScript, we can apply the CSS. We can change these colors dynamically and apply them to the contents directly. That I will show you in JavaScript, one example, how we can change the theme of our website dynamically after understanding this. What is advantage here is, for heading which color to apply background, that depends on what background color you are choosing. So because all should have the similar type of appearance, then we have to write the conditions in this way. So now you see in effects, automatically it changes to green color. That means, so for that we need to write the conditions. Now if they selected some blue color, then in the conditions we don't have the blue color. Due to that, what happens is, so it will not apply to anything which is not between red or green. Then we have to use an else condition also. We have to define an else block also. That means for else, we can define a different color, different effects for that. Suppose, how do we write an else block? That means if and else if, multiple conditions also we can write. We will see. Usually this is a simple if, and the intention is change the effects according to the situation, and all are affected at a time. That is the advantage here. All are affected. Now, because these are variables, you can apply anywhere. I just applied to the heading. You can apply anywhere, right? So this is the approach. Understood this one? Everyone understood this? How do we use the conditions? There is no confusion in this. Am I right? Everyone understood? How do we write the conditions, right? And do you find any use of these kind of conditions? Is there any use of these kind of conditions? So of course, there will be so much use for these kind of conditions because they will change dynamically. Am I right? Effects will be changed dynamically. And if you change one, according to that, it will affect everywhere. If you are directly dealing this in CSS, you have to update everywhere. But SCSS will handle this and it will make it very easy for you. You can use an else block also. If else block, how you write? Generally, we write an if. After writing the if, we have to write an else block. If with else. Else is again written like this. If we have to write an if block and we have to write an else block. You can write multiple conditions also, right? We can write an if block, we can write an else if block, and we can write an else block like this. You can write any levels, you can configure any levels. That means here I am defining, so like, so if background is red, so else, if it is not red, then I can apply. That means we have to write here. So multiple conditions, right? Multiple conditions means I am using else if it is green, then it will apply green color. So else what should happen? Else if I can write another one. Suppose if it is out BG color is equal to blue, is it blue? Then we are writing multiple conditions. Then background color should be blue. In that blue, I will select a light shade for the blue. Like this, I have to define. And we have to write an else. That means if it is not matching with anyone, then background color. So background color should be set to black, and color should be set to white. If it is not matching with anything, not only one effect, you can apply multiple effects. If it is not matching with anything, so that means it has to apply this. Now currently, suppose if the background color is blue, and we will compile this now, and automatically the effect will be blue. Suppose I define background color as yellow, and I will compile this here. So yellow is not among the conditions, then it should apply black color for this. That means background will be yellow, but heading color will be black because you applied something else. Suppose background color I defined as, suppose dark cyan, so some color which is not in the conditions. Background color will be applied, but heading color will be set to black. So if it is among any colors, like if it is a green or so red or blue, then automatically heading color will be according to that. Anything else, then it can handle that in this situation and it can define this. So these are conditions here. You don't have any switch blocks here. We have to write else if conditions here. So we don't have any switch like conditions here. We can use through iterations functions, and we can manage if there are many conditions to handle, right? Initially, this is if, how you can use the if, conditionally how you can manage and how you can present the contents. So this is an example for using the conditions functions in SAS. Now, similarly, another important function is when you are dealing with, so we have the functions like for, we have functions like each. So these are used for creating loops and iterations. Several times we need to apply the effects. So based on the loops and conditions also. Why we need loops and conditions? So I will show you what is the necessity of that, what is the advantage of that, and how do we define this. Generally, so for is used for creating the loops, configuring the loops and defining the loops. Yes, I told you now we can change the color dynamically through JavaScript and jQuery. Already we learned so many examples in JavaScript, haven't we changed the color? Password box we changed, so dynamically red color, green color, blue color, we changed already we learned in JavaScript, jQuery. What do you say? We haven't learned changing color dynamically. That is the question you are asking again. We can change color dynamically, but not in CSS directly, CSS file. We have to change color dynamically means through, so JavaScript or jQuery, you have to change the color. You have to apply the effects now. Already in several examples we have seen. Invalid is in red color, valid is in green color, automatically it is changing the color. We are applying through styles dynamically. Styles are applied dynamically, right? So that's how we define. Now, for is used for creating the loops. For is used for creating the loops. So loops, actually, you know already. Loop contains an initializer, it contains a condition, it contains a counter. Generally, so here, how the loops are defined. Generally, actually, we have to use expression. How to write expression in JavaScript? In expression in JavaScript is written in flower brace, dollar flower brace. But here already dollar is used for variables. That is the reason in SAS expressions are written in hash. In SAS expressions are written in hash. We write expressions in hash. So if you want to handle the expressions, then we have to deal that with hash. So we have to use hash. So expressions are defined by using hash technically, right? So that means we have to handle the expressions by using hash. Because for needs an expression, you have to define the expressions. Okay, let's see how we can use this for and what is the intention here. So generally, how you write the for syntactically. So here we write for, just like your JavaScript, first you have to declare a variable. This is initializer. And we have to use the words from and start, from start number through the end number, stop number. This is how we write the for loops. So that means it is not like I less than equal to 10 or I plus plus. It is a simple option like variable from starting number how much, ending number how much. That means from starting this number to this number up to that number, it will perform the iterations. Starting from that number to specific number, it will perform the iterations. So, and those numbers will be stored in this variable. The iteration count, so will be stored in that variable. Let's see how we can handle this, how we can design this. Let's see iterations, how we can manage. For example, I am writing here, see, suppose I am going to the HTML file. In the HTML file, I am creating a simple div. Here I am giving a class as box. So I am giving the class as box1. Okay. In this box1, we have image. Image source is equal to in images we have some shoe.jpg. Okay, so width is 50 pixel. So and height also 50 pixel. Width and height we define to 50 pixel. Okay. Similarly, we have another one. So another one, we have box 2 and we have another one. We have box 3. I want to apply the effects for this box 1, 2 and 3. And you know that for that actually, suppose like that 20 boxes are there. Then you have to write logic for 20. So why? Because 20 are there. Individually you have to write them. Box 1, box 2, box 3 like that. But here, you know this. Box is the common term and 1, 2, 3 are incrementing. That means now if box is the common and 1, 2, 3 is incrementing, you don't need to write 3 times. You can write it 1 time and execute 3 times. So that means we can use loops here. We can create loops here. Let's see how we can design the loops here, how we can configure the loops here. Suppose here, yeah, it is shoe, it is something like shirt. So it is something like some speaker, something options, different I am defining here. Okay, now observe carefully here. In the style, what I am doing is extra in the style. So what we will do is initially, or in the effects itself, we will write. So everything we will write in the effects only. Okay, let's go to the effects.scss. In this scss, so we need to define wherever div is present. So I will keep width as 50 pixel and height also 50 pixel. Width and height also 50 pixel. And we will keep a border also. So border 1 pixel solid border we applied here. This is the div. So we are configuring the div. And here we want to apply the effect for all boxes. For all boxes, if you want to apply, you have to write 3 boxes. If there are 10 boxes, you have to write all the 10 boxes. But see now, I am writing a simple for. In the for, so declare a variable I. It contains the counter. So, and we have to use the term from, starting from 1. Index number starts with 1. Through. So through how many? 3. 1, 2, 3. From 1 to 3, so that means because we have 3 boxes, 1, 2, 3, what should happen? We have to write the condition like this. That means now the 1 will be stored in I. So after that 2, after that 3. Now what should happen is dot box, that is the class. And to that actually class is not box 1, box 2, box 3. Then we can simply put here expression hash flower brace I. This indicates so $I, that is the variable. That means this indicates $I is initially 1. That means it is box 1. Remember, it depends on how you return the class. Class is like box 1. Suppose class is like box -1. Class is like box -1. All the classes are like box -1. Then you have to write box hyphen and that value. Currently it is box 1. That means this is first time it will be box 1. Okay, what should happen? Margin left, I will put here as $I into 50 pixel, I will keep that 50 pixel. What does this means? First box left margin will be 50. How much will be the second box left margin? Second box left margin will be how much? It will be 2 into 50. Am I right? Second box will be 100. Understood? Right. And the third box will be 3 into 50. 150. Understood? Right? That's right. That means now with one small logic, hundreds of boxes, you can apply the effect. For hundreds of boxes, you can apply the effect with one small block of code. So we can affect it. Now I will save this now and I will compile this. You can see now it is done, and you can see the boxes are arranged like this. Now all the boxes are arranged in this way. That means 50 pixel, 100 pixels, 150 pixel. All the boxes are arranged in this way. Now actually, to do this, we have to write the original CSS. Observe here. The original CSS, I have to write like this: box 1, box 2, box 3. That means here 17 lines code is there, which is actually done in 11 lines. Even there are 100 boxes, only these 11 lines are enough. That means actually previously I have to write 50, 70 lines of code, which we can reduce now into a simple one. So the small block of code. So you can use the iterations, you can use the looping statements. You can even use an iterator. Through an iterator, we can handle. What is when iterator is used? Iterators are created by using two options. So here, iterator is created. This is looping. Looping contains for variable. So starting value, ending value. Starting value and ending value. It contains the variable starting and ending value. Right. Now the point here is how you can manage the conditions, how we can manage the conditions and define the conditions for iteration. Iteration means already we know. Iteration doesn't contain a initializer. Iteration doesn't contain a condition. Iterations can be used with for of or for in. Actually, in our JavaScript, here we have to use each, just like jQuery, each, and we have to use each in operator in order to read every value from a collection and apply that value. So that is iterators, how you can define the iterator and how you can configure the iterator. So that is again the same options. That means if you want to apply different colors, different effects, then the same thing we have to do for that. That means for example here, suppose I will just create another example here. Let's go to the HTML page. All these examples are uploaded into the notes. You can verify them. Here I am creating a simple ordered list, and we have li list item. So and here I am writing just item 1. So and list item as item 2, and list item 3, like this, item 3, and list item as item 4. So these are the options we are defining. So now I want to apply some effects for them. For the list items, I want to apply the effects. So whatever list items are there, and see here, every list item is having a class. Class is like li underscore red, like this. That is the class. And I'm defining as so class is equal to li. So li, so green. That is another. So class is li. So this is blue. Because many times people ask this question like, sir, if there are no numbers, then how do we do? You use iterators for them. You have to keep the collection. So blue, yellow, like this. Now important, I need to access all these classes. It is not number, red, green, blue, yellow, the color names are there now. Now, and I want to apply effects for that. Then how do we write in the SCSS? So how do we configure in SCSS? Just option is, here we have to write. So first we have to create a list for colors. List is just so red, and comma green, so comma, so blue and comma yellow. This is the list. List is just like an array that we have generally in our JavaScript. And we have to create an iterator now. So that means iterator is created with at the net each, and variable in list. Our variable I will give as a dollar color. Okay, and list is dollar colors. In the list, every value it will read, and this should be applied for the list item. That means we are using here the class. So here dot li underscore, we have to get this variable and bind it. Then we have to use a binding expression. So dollar color. That means it will get gray color. I will apply here, suppose background color. So background color is whatever the color is there. So that means dollar color. So that means the background color we defined here, and we defined padding as some 5 pixel and border as 2 pixels, solid dark cyan or say black. So that is the border. And here we are applying the effect like some border radius as 10 pixel. Okay. Now here our main intention is background color, and other the options are defined here. And I will say color as suppose some white, that is the color white combination we are defining here. Again, we can write the conditions also. We will see those how we can define. And you see here, this is the option defined. This is the option defined for the list items. That means if it is list item red, then the background color will be red. So, and padding and all these will be applied to that element. And you can see now, I am just compiling this. And you can see the list item. So, and you can see these list items are defined in this way. Border and all these options are there. And here, so background color, it has to get the value from that color and display the value from the color, right? So let's check what the problem occurred here is some reference maybe problem inside the color. So what is the color combination? We have to apply that from a expression, right? This is accessed through an expression. This is a variable. It's not directly a local variable. So here we have to get it from an expression because it is in an each condition, right? In an each condition, then here we have to define dollar color. So that is how we have to access it. And let's compile this and see, and you can see, and those colors are applied for that. The combination of colors are applied for that. Now you can use the conditions for that. That means here, because in an iterator, so you cannot, this is not a local variable actually. So it is not a variable, it is just a expression variable. That expression variable is accessed through an expression here. And here you can write conditions like, so you can write an if condition. If the list item color is yellow, then the color can be changed to some red or some other combination. We can write conditions here. That means here we can write here condition. If inside this we can write a condition. So condition is nothing but if we are accessing the expression here. So if dollar color is equal to yellow. If color is equal to yellow, that means the color is equal to yellow. Then color should be set to black. Color should be set to black. So and else we are writing another condition. And here we have to set the color. We need to set it to some white. Like this, we can add conditions also inside these iterations. Because according to the colors combinations, it has to change these effects. You see, when we run this, actually in the effects, you see lot of lines of code is added here. lot of lines of code is added here. It is getting, accessing and displaying. You see here, so 30 lines of code, which we have done in, so 17 lines. So we have done in 17 lines. The combinations, so how you configure and define, these are very important, right? We have to manage them according